In the top stories, World Bank report on fair share received, federal government to fund Vance Emery Airport upgrade. Prime Minister's secretary seek parliamentary approval for electoral reform loan, and Menendez brothers' long-awaited resentencing hearing to begin. Welcome to the ZIZ Midday newscast. Today is Tuesday, May 13th, 2025. I'm Devon Cornelius. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis has received the long-anticipated World Bank report, which outlines recommendations for a fair share arrangement between St. Kitts and Nevis. Prime Minister the Honorable Dr. Terence Dew confirmed the development during a media roundtable on Tuesday, noting that meaningful dialogue on the issue is expected to begin shortly. The move is expected to guide future negotiations on how national revenues are allocated and managed across the Federation, particularly in relation to Nevis's share. In another major announcement, the Prime Minister revealed that the federal government has stepped in to finance the long-awaited upgrade of the Vance Emery International Airport. The project is expected to enhance the island's connectivity and stimulate economic activity, particularly in tourism and trade. The Embassy of the Republic of Cuba in St. Kitts and Nevis hosted a special event at the House of Habano in Bastia to celebrate the 30th anniversary of diplomatic relations between the two nations. The ceremony was attended by top government officials, including Governor General Her Excellency Dame Marcella Liebert and Minister of Foreign Affairs the Right Honorable Dr. Denzel Douglas, alongside several cabinet ministers and representatives from the diplomatic corps. Cuban Ambassador David Rivero praised the long-standing partnership grounded in mutual respect and shared values. He expressed appreciation for the Federation's support against the U.S. blockade and highlighted ongoing cooperation in healthcare, education, and more recently infrastructure, with Cuban engineers and architects now assisting in local development projects. Dr. Douglas reflected on the history of the relationship, recalling that it was under his leadership that Cuba first offered scholarships to Kittitian and Nevisian students. He noted that hundreds have since studied in Cuba and returned to contribute to national growth. Representatives from the Association of Graduates and members of the Cuban Medical and Construction Brigades also attended, underscoring the strong people-to-people ties. The event concluded with a celebration of continued friendship and commitment to deepening cooperation. Still on the local scene, the Honorable Dr. Denzel Douglas, Minister of Foreign Affairs of St. Kitts and Nevis, met with His Excellency Enrique Manalo, Secretary for Foreign Affairs of the Republic of the Philippines, on the sidelines of the 27th meeting of the Council for Foreign and Community Relations of CARICOM. Minister Douglas warmly welcomed Secretary Manalo to St. Kitts and Nevis, especially on the auspicious occasion marking the 25th anniversary of diplomatic relations between the two nations. He emphasized the significance of this milestone in the shared journey of friendship, cooperation, and mutual respect. During their cordial and constructive exchange, both foreign ministers expressed satisfaction with the strength of bilateral relations, particularly within multilateral fora. They acknowledged the positive collaboration on international platforms and discussed areas for deepening ties, including technical cooperation, disaster risk management, climate resilience, and the promotion of peace and security. Secretary Manalo took the opportunity to inform Minister Douglas of the Philippines' candidature for a non-permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council for the term 2027 to 2028. In response, Minister Douglas expressed appreciation for the update and reaffirmed the importance of principled engagement at the United Nations and other multilateral institutions. To conclude the meeting, both ministers pledged to continue building on the long-standing friendship between their countries and to further explore opportunities for cooperation in pursuit of shared global objectives. Now for news on the regional scene. The Dominican Republic has sharply increased deportations of Haitian nationals, repatriating over 119,000 people between January and April 2025, a 71% rise compared to the same period last year. This surge follows an intensified immigration crackdown ordered by the National Security Council last October, aimed at curbing irregular migration. In April alone, more than 32,000 Haitians were deported. Most detentions took place in Santiago and Santo Domingo, with authorities averaging 25 operations per day. Since October, over 213,000 people have been sent back to Haiti, with monthly deportations now exceeding 30,000, up from an average of 20,000 earlier in 2024. To support the expanded operations, immigration officials have deployed new agents, boosted training, and upgraded their vehicle fleet. Key departments have also been strengthened, including units focused on intelligence, interdiction, and cybersecurity. The government says the measures aim to tackle irregular migration and dismantle human trafficking networks. Dominica's Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit has announced plans to seek parliamentary approval for a loan from the National Bank of Dominica to fund electoral reform. The proposal will be brought before Parliament on Monday, May 19th. In March, 3 key pieces of legislation were passed to strengthen the electoral process, including the Registration of Electors Act, which requires voter confirmation within 12 months. But the Prime Minister has acknowledged that rolling out the reforms will be costly. Speaking on the Government in 5 radio program, he said, quote, "I want to ensure that the Electoral Commission has all the money up front so no one can claim it's unavailable," end quote. He added that discussions with the Minister of Finance are already underway and hopes the full sum can be transferred in one go. The loan will cover staffing, confirmation officers, rent, and necessary equipment. Talks are also ongoing with a European firm to supply electoral technology. And now for news on the international scene. A long-awaited resentencing hearing on Tuesday is set to determine whether 2 brothers who killed their wealthy parents in their Beverly Hills mansion could be freed from prison after 3 decades. After months of delays, a judge will begin hearing 2 days of arguments, both for and against Eric and Lyle Menendez's bid to receive a lesser sentence, which could ultimately lead to their paroled release. Prosecutors have argued the brothers meticulously planned the 1989 killings to access their parents' fortune, still have not taken accountability, and should not be released. The brothers have said they acted out of self-defense after years of abuse. The notorious case, which has prompted books, documentaries, and dramas, still divides America. It is expected to include testimony from a variety of people, including members of the Menendez family and potentially those involved with the original case. Eric and Lyle could even take the stand, although such a move would open them up to questioning from prosecutors who oppose their release. The BBC has asked whether they will testify or who else might be called to testify. And now for the weather. At this hour, conditions are cloudy with scattered showers. Winds are blowing gentle from the north-northeast at 8 miles per hour. The temperature is a cool 23 degrees Celsius or 74 degrees Fahrenheit with humidity at 96%. The sun sets this evening at 6:35 and tomorrow's sunrise is at 5:39 a.m. Looking ahead to the next 24 hours, winds will pick up slightly coming from the east at 12 to 21 miles per hour with occasional gusts up to 31 miles per hour. Seas remain moderate to rough, ranging between 4 to 7 feet, so a small craft advisory is in effect. Mariners and small boat operators should exercise caution. For today and tonight, expect partly cloudy skies with a moderate 60% chance of passing showers, so it wouldn't hurt to keep an umbrella close by. A moderate to fresh breeze continues to flow across the region. Combined with available moisture, this will bring on and off showers to Puerto Rico, the Leeward Islands, and the Virgin Islands. Further south, the Leeward Islands, or the Windward Islands rather, will also see partly cloudy conditions with a moderate chance of showers throughout the day and into tonight. Meanwhile, the Antigua and Barbuda Meteorological Services has issued a flash flood advisory for St. Kitts and Nevis in effect until 2 p.m. today. This advisory is based on the likelihood of minor flooding in low-lying and flood-prone areas. A persistent trough system over the northeast Caribbean is generating periodic heavy showers across the Leeward Islands. Up to 1 inch of rainfall has already been recorded over the past 6 hours, with an additional inch or more expected within the next 6 hours. Residents are advised that streams, creeks, and drains may rise quickly and could overflow onto roads and into vulnerable areas. While widespread property damage is not anticipated, flood-related disruptions may occur. Motorists and pedestrians are urged to exercise extreme caution. Just 1 foot of flowing water can sweep a vehicle off the road. If you encounter flooded areas, turn around. Move to higher ground if necessary. The Antigua and Barbuda Meteorological Services will continue to monitor conditions and issue further updates as necessary. That brings us to the end of the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in detail. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Devon Cornelius. Goodbye.